Hello, I'm Richard, and you're watching over and over and over again the Positive Arsenal channel. Hello, I'm Richard, and welcome back to my channel over and over and over again, which features everything to do with Arsenal. In this video, I'm just going to go over my weekly Premier League roundup, weekend 6, of course, as it says in the bottom of the screen there. Just what I do, I just want to make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you like what I do, please click the subscribe button. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, as well as it does really help it to grow. And if you've got any comments at all about the weekend's Premier League action or anything else at all, please drop me in the comments box as well, because I do like to hear from you guys as well. So then, the Premier League weekend 6, after all the drama and excitement and controversy actually of the previous 5 weekends, this one was rather dull in comparison. If we're totally honest, it seemed as though maybe things are settling down a little bit more, and we're going to start to see now a few more predictable maybe results and matches perhaps. Of course, this Premier League weekend started early on Friday evening. Of course, it was quite a big game as well, wasn't it? At Villa Park, Aston Villa against Leeds. Aston Villa came into the game, of course, on the back of 4 straight victories. But in the end, it was Leeds that ran out winners, actually 3-0. I suppose that was a bit of a surprise result, but they won so comfortably in the end, although it maybe didn't quite reflect the full game. Aston Villa certainly gave as good as they got in the first half. Jack Grealish had an effort cleared off the line, which would have given Aston Villa the lead, and that might well have made a big difference on the night. But in the end, it was a second half hat-trick from Patrick Bamford, actually. Well, a lot of people said he wouldn't score goals in the Premier League. Well, he's got 6 already in 6 games. So, and that's only his second hat-trick ever in his career as well. So, fantastic performance from him. And congratulations to Leeds on what has been a fantastic start to the season for him, hasn't it? Playing some great football as well. So that was the first game. And on to Saturday then. The first game on Saturday was lunchtime game in West Ham against Manchester City. Now, the previous 2 seasons, Manchester City had won this fixture with a combined total of 9 goals for and none against. So things were really against West Ham in this game, but it ended up in a 1-1 draw. West Ham took the lead in the first half. A great overhead kick from Mikel Antonio. What a great player he's proving to be for them. Fantastic centre forward. He can also play in wide positions. He can play in midfield. Really versatile. He's also scoring goals. In fact, since the lockdown, I believe he's the second highest scorer in the whole of the Premier League over that period of time. So he's on a great run. It was a great goal. And mate, it looks as though West Ham are going to cause another shock. They've had some great results, haven't they, in recent weeks, since we beat them, actually. But in the second half, Manchester City did come back. They equalised with a goal from Phil Foden. A good finish, actually, on the turn, which made it 1-1. And then City probably had the better chances to win it towards the end. Raheem Sterling missed a couple. Mahrez missed a couple as well. West Ham held on for a good point, actually. They're on quite a good run of form at the moment. You know, after their poor start to the season, they've turned it around, haven't they? Really, really well. And that was a good result for them. The 3 o'clock game on Saturday was at Craven Cottage. Fulham against Crystal Palace. Although it finished 2-1 to Crystal Palace, I think Crystal Palace were a lot more comfortable in this game than maybe the scoreline suggests. They got an early lead. It was the first ever Crystal Palace goal for Riedewald. Good work, actually, from Wilfried Zaha, created that goal. And then it was Zaha himself who scored the second as well early in the second half, sliding in at the far post. He almost got injured, actually, hitting the post as he scored. But that made it 2-0. It seemed fairly comfortable for Palace, actually, especially when Kamara for Fulham was sent off, got a straight red card. Initially, it was only given as a yellow, but a VAR review was upgraded to a red. I can see why it was given, maybe a little bit harsh. But actually, Fulham did pull a goal back in the last minute. A great strike, actually, from Kearney from outside the box, curled into the top corner. But Crystal Palace were quite comfortable in that game. And again, they're another team that's had a great start to the season. And they're in the top half of the table, going really well at this moment in time. The Saturday evening game was at Old Trafford, Manchester United against Chelsea. Probably the most anticipated game of the weekend, quite honestly. But it proved to be one of the most disappointing games of the season so far. It produced only the second goalless draw that we've seen. And Man United probably should have won, actually. The Chelsea goalkeeper, Mendy, had a good game, made 2 or 3 really good saves. For Chelsea, for all their attacking intent, didn't create a lot in this game. But having conceded lots of goals already this season, I think it was important for them to be able to defend. And of course, they got a clean sheet in the week in the Champions League, and now another clean sheet in the Premier League as well. So maybe Frank Lampard's starting to improve the defensive side of their game. And if he does that, then they're going to be a good bet for the top four, aren't they? Manchester United haven't won at home yet in the Premier League, which may generally cause some concern. But of course, their next home game is against Arsenal on Sunday. So I'm sure that they'll soon get that victory. And then the late game on Saturday evening was at Anfield, Liverpool against Sheffield United. Actually, it was quite an interesting game. Sheffield United played pretty well. They did get the lead in the first half with a rather controversial penalty, which Berg put away. The foul looked as though it was outside the box, even if it was a foul at all. So quite a harsh decision that VAR gave. It was right on the line, but it could have gone either way, I guess. Liverpool obviously went behind. Again, VAR may be going against them. It says it evens itself out. Maybe all the decisions they got last season in their favour are going to be reversed this year. But Liverpool, of course, are still a good side, despite the injury problems that they've got, particularly in defence. And they did come back and win the game. Firmino equalised with a close range finish before half time. And then in the second half, just after Liverpool had a goal disallowed from Mohamed Salah, who was offside. Good finish, actually, but he was offside. Almost straight away, Diogo Jota scored a header to put Liverpool back in front. Sheffield United actually had a couple of chances late on to get an equaliser, and they wasn't able to take them. And Liverpool held on for a win to put them at that time into second place in the league. So despite them maybe not firing on all cylinders yet, they're still look as though they're favourites to retain the title, especially as the other challengers appear to be dropping even more points than they have. We then moved on to Sunday, of course. The early game on Sunday was at St Mary's, improving Southampton against the league leaders and unbeaten Everton. But their run came to an end with a 2-0 defeat. Good play from Southampton, a good performance all round for them, actually, which was actually a year ago since they lost that game 9-0 at home to Leicester. So it shows what a turnaround they've had. They're now in the top 6 after this victory. It was 2 goals in the first half. Ward-Prowse got the opener, and then Shea Adams got the second goal. Both were created by Danny Ings. In my fantasy team, of course, got me a few points there, but unfortunately, Calvert-Lewin's great run of scoring in every match came to an end. He had a very quiet game, actually. Everton, in the end, finished the game with 10 men as well. A straight red card for Luca Digne. It looked quite harsh, actually. I don't think he meant to clip the Southampton player heel. It was Walker-Peters, but it was given as a red card. I thought it was a bit harsh, but anyway, it didn't really affect the result in the end. But that's the second weekend in a row that Everton have played with 10 men having got a red card, but they do still lead the table for the time being. The next game on Sunday, it's a Sunday afternoon game, was at Molineux. Wolves against Newcastle. Very dull game. Not a lot really went on in this game at all. It looked as though Wolves were going to win when Jimenez, my other fantasy league striker, scored a good goal actually from the edge of the box, a really good hit into the top corner. But in the final minute, Newcastle got a point. It was Jacob Murphy with a free kick, a really clever free kick in at the near post. Maybe the goalkeeper, Rui Patricio, should have done better perhaps, but a good goal for Newcastle gets them a point. And then another team that's had a decent start to the season. They may be not playing the attacking football that maybe the players that they've got suggest that they could, but they're not losing many games. And again, it was a decent result for them away from home as well, with a 1-1 draw. Of course, Wolves are a very good side. That takes us on, of course, to the final game of the weekend, which was our game at the Emirates. I've already covered it before. I don't really want to talk about it again. We all know the result. Terrible 1-0 defeat for Arsenal against Leicester. So very disappointing that is. But of course, tonight, there's 2 more games tonight, isn't there? The highlight for us, I'm sure, will be Tottenham's visit to Burnley. Burnley, of course, haven't won a game yet. And Tottenham's away form has been pretty good. But no doubt Burnley will, of course, win this game tonight, probably quite comfortably as well, by several goals to 0. So I'll be looking out for that one. But I say overall then, weekend 6 was probably the dullest weekend of the season so far, although, of course, that's no surprise, is it, when you look at the games that we've had, the weeks that we've had so far. Again, a lack of home wins as well. Only 2 home wins across the 8 games played this weekend, and that was at Southampton and inevitably at Liverpool. So the home advantage this season still appears to have gone The away teams are doing really well, as we found out to our cost this weekend as well. So that's that in there. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you like it as well. Obviously, I do normally focus on Arsenal, but once a week I'd like to do a roundup of the Premier League action. And so far it's been quite exciting, isn't it? But this week perhaps not so much so. But I will say, please drop comments in the box below about the results this weekend. Any results that you maybe were surprised about. I say probably the biggest surprise was perhaps Leeds' big win at Aston Villa, wasn't it? And maybe, Man City not winning at West Ham, one of their lucky grounds over recent years. But other than that, most games kind of went to form, didn't they? Except possibly ours. And Southampton maybe beating Everton. But Southampton are a team on the up. Really impressed with them, how they've been playing this season. And I say they're actually in the top 6. Fantastic turnaround from them, I say, a year after that 9-0 defeat against Leicester. So that's out there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Loads of stuff coming up this week. Building up to our Europa League game against Dundalk on Thursday, and then the big Premier League meeting at Old Trafford on Sunday. That is the Sunday game next week. And I say loads of stuff coming up, and also a positive Arsenal podcast I'm going to try and squeeze in this week as well, possibly on Friday if I can get people who are available. It's quite a busy time of the year at the moment, isn't it? So we'll see what happens with that. And that's that then for now. So thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done. Leave any comments in the box. And of course, as always, come on, you Gunners!